Hey there, welcome. My name is Alonda Carter and I am the Recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM videos, that's anti-multi-level marketing, and I also examine white-collar crime and some true crime. Basically, I like to tell the stories related to scammy things and the people involved. Today's video is about the Summer Wells case. In case you have not heard about Summer, she vanished June 15th of 2021. I asked on my community tab if you guys were interested in this case, and the response was yes, so I'm making the video. I apologize in advance if the audio is not what it is usually. We just moved and I have not been able to fully set up my home office and put up the sound canceling foam. The floor is tile and there's not a lot in this room, so it's probably a bit echoey, and I'm really doing the best that I can with the screen behind me, a blanket thrown up. And that's probably just not enough. So again, I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm doing what I can. I am not covering the entire story of her disappearance, but before we get into the meat of this video, here's kind of a quick overview of what happened. On June 15th, Summer Wells went missing. Her grandmother had gone to the ER in the morning, and later that day, Summer's mother, Candus, and Summer went to pick up the grandmother, who is Candus's mother. They also picked up a 15-year-old boy who is the son of Allison Harris, a former friend of Candus's. According to Candus, they dropped off a prescription for the grandmother at Walgreens. While it was being filled, they went to a nearby park called Warriors to go swimming. I believe the last video we have seen of Summer was her swimming at the swimming hole located there. She and H, that's the 15-year-old boy, according to Candus, swam for 15 to 20 minutes, and then they went back to Walgreens to pick up the prescription. Candus took H home, and Summer fell asleep against milk containers in the back seat, which was captured in the last known photo of Summer. And before we really get started with this video, I want to welcome my newest patron, your tank top friend. Thank you so very much for your support. It means the world to me. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch a video, those who leave a comment, and those, giving it the thumbs up, because that really does help my videos be seen by more people. Once home, Summer, her mom, and grandmother planted some flowers. Summer wanted to go see her brothers who were in the house. Candus watched Summer go in. When Candus came inside, she asked where Summer was and was told that she had gone downstairs into the basement playroom, which is where Candus and her husband, Dawn, as well as Summer, sleep. Allegedly, according to Candus and Dawn, someone came up into their yard and took Summer. There are a lot of problems with this overall story and the various details surrounding it. Plunder and True Crime Rocket Science have been covering this case, and also Stephanie Harlow created an informative video that goes into more of the details. Also, Zap Girl is creating videos which depict Summer at the church that they attended. Dawn was arrested in 2020 for domestic assault, which has caused alarm bells to go off for some people. The channel Unmasked interviewed Allison Harris, who goes by Allie, who is also the mother of H. There are a lot of rumors that have come out associated with this case involving poverty, substance abuse, neglect, and excess. Allegedly, while at Warriors, Candus drank twisted tea, which is an alcoholic beverage, and gave one to H. Candus has made no bones about smoking pot on her social media, and there have been some allegations that possibly there is some sort of opioid abuse. Anyway, something in the interview with Allie bothered me. Allegedly, the family has at least 20 dogs on their property and does not spay or neuter their animals. I have 2 dogs myself, both are rescues. If you have pets, then you probably know there are a lot of expenses involving caring for them. Back when I was an undergrad, there was a time when I was so broke, I couldn't afford food for myself or for my dog. And I remember sharing rice cakes with my dog because that's what I had and that's all I could do right then and there. To save money even, I washed my clothes in the bathtub and hung them up to dry. I was struggling. So, if you have financial stressors, This impedes your ability to meet your obligations. I always think you can learn a lot about people by how they treat animals. So I'm going to focus on what we might be able to learn about Candus and Dawn and the family based on the sheer quantity of dogs on their property. I am not saying that they are guilty of anything. I do think we can look at the information available to us and critically examine it to see what we can learn from it, if we can learn anything from it. What do you think? In my opinion, 20 dogs is an extreme excess of dogs. The Wells family has 4 children to care for, and having such a high number of animals could probably impact their ability to care not only for the animals but for their children. What do you think? Summer lives with her father, Donald Wells, and mother, Candus Bly, along with her 3 older brothers. The family home is under 800 square feet. I lived in a loft that I think was under 500 square feet or right at 500 square feet with my dog and cat. It was a great space for me, but I can't imagine sharing it with another person. The Wells home is tiny and it sits on roughly 11 acres. The home is located in a very rural area with difficult terrain at 110 Ben Hill Road in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County, Tennessee. It is located between Rogersville and Kingsport, Tennessee. This area is 67.1 miles from Knox County, Tennessee. I could not find if there's a limit to how many dogs you can have in Hawkins County, but in Knox County there are limits. Although you can have 20 dogs on over 5 acres of land, my question is this: is it advisable to have this many dogs? In other words, just because you can, should you? Given there is speculation about neglect, coupled with the many calls to Child Protective Services, Donald's criminal record, the suspected abuse of alcohol and possibly drugs, along with having numerous dogs and possibly cats, because I've seen pictures of cats and kittens also, I think it's important to be aware of the link between animal abuse and family violence. I found this article. I'm not going to read all of it to you, but will leave a link in the description. Understanding the link between animal abuse and family violence. What is the link? A correlation between animal abuse, family violence, and other forms of community violence has been established. Child and animal protection professionals have recognized the link, noting that abuse of both children and animals is connected in a self-perpetuating cycle of violence. When animals in a home are abused or neglected, it is a warning sign that others in the household may not be safe. In addition, children who witness animal abuse are at a greater risk of becoming abusers themselves. How serious is it? A survey of pet-owning families with substantiated child abuse and neglect found that animals were abused in 88% of homes where child physical abuse was present. A study of women seeking shelter at a safe house showed that 71% of those having pets affirmed that their partner had threatened, hurt, or killed their companion animals, and 32% of mothers reported that their children had hurt or killed their pets. Still another study showed that violent offenders incarcerated in a maximum security prison were significantly more likely than nonviolent offenders to have committed childhood acts of cruelty towards pets. I am not saying the Wells abused their children. We have no evidence of this. What we do know is that family has a large number of animals on their property, and we do not know how well they're cared for, if they have ever been vaccinated, and it is alleged that they are never spayed or neutered. Another factor I think is also important to consider is animal hoarding. Given that in at least Knox County, Tennessee, it is allowable to have 20 dogs on 5 acres or more, is there a threshold when this tips over to hoarding? Rumors have spread about possible infidelity along with the other issues already mentioned, including poverty. It would not surprise me if there were some mental health issues. This is why I want to touch on the possible animal hoarding connection. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America has this to say about animal hoarding. Animal hoarding. When most people hear about animal hoarding, they recall shocking news stories about the crazy cat lady. They immediately side with the animals, rarely considering the life of what led to this behavior. The term animal hoarding refers to the compulsive need to collect and own animals for the sake of caring for them that results in accidental or unintentional neglect or abuse. Most animal hoarders fall victim to their intentions and end up emotionally overwhelmed, socially isolated, and alienated from family and friends. The problem causes immense suffering for both animals and people. It also creates great expense for local animal shelters and may require regional and national efforts to find homes for large numbers of animals. Specific problem areas. Animal hoarders have problems with acquiring animals and handling, managing, and getting rid of them. They have every intention of caring for the animals, but their difficulties with organization, attention, and focus contribute to their living spaces becoming very messy with animal waste and clutter. Hoarders have a hard time letting go of their objects or animals because they have a terrible time making even simple decisions. For example, is this dog my favorite or should I adopt him out? They also may have subtle memory problems and feel that they cannot trust their recall, so they keep things to preserve memories. Strong emotional attachments. Hoarders also have an intense emotional attachment to their animals. They avoid the pain of letting go of things that seem very special, even when clutter prevents comfortable living. Like object hoarders, animal hoarders believe that things should be saved for some special event, even if the event never happens. They imagine the wonderful way in which they will heal, love, and nurture their pets while overlooking the terrible effects of having too many of them. Many hoarders confuse their good intentions with the real acts of organizing or discarding things. They churn through their piles of junk, feeling as if they have accomplished something significant even without any discernible improvement. Animal hoarders clear a small area of their home of animal waste or find a special container for pet food, but they fail to address that their home, furniture, and lives are destroyed by having too many animals. Triggering an abundance of love. Studies of animal hoarders show that their behavior often begins after an illness, disability, or death of a significant other or other difficult life event. They view their animals as a major source of love, and they emphasize how much they give and receive from them. For many, keeping their animals appears to guarantee a conflict-free relationship. They often refer to their animals as their babies, and they confuse their loving the animals with the reality of their inability to provide a safe, clean, and healthy home for them. Many see themselves as a rescue service for animals that others reject, giving them a role as a person who saves unwanted animals, which helps them feel special, loved, and important. So they feel unable to give up their animals for adoption because they believe no one else will provide their intense love for them. Unhappy consequences. The result of animal neglect is especially sad. Everyone suffers with animal hoarding, the animals, the hoarder, and those who love the hoarder. Hoarders frequently neglect their own health, nutrition, and social life because they spend all their time, money, and energy caring for their animals. They are emotionally overwhelmed and trapped by their indecision and sense of responsibility and are often sleep deprived. Their homes are overcome by animal waste, and they can suffer health problems created by inhalation of ammonia, fleas and ticks, and animal-borne illnesses. And the animals suffer the same fate: poor health, malnutrition, disease, and even death. They are stressed by frequent fights over food, territory, or mating in crowded conditions, and usually are not spayed or neutered. Hoarded animals cannot retreat when they feel stressed or threatened, which is a natural behavior for pets living in healthy homes or in the wild. All hoarding leads to a sad outcome, but the saddest of all is the animals who die in an environment of neglect, filth, and stressful overcrowding as innocent prisoners of well-intentioned but misguided love. These animals are innocent victims enduring tragic lives with people who are equally trapped. I'm not going to finish the article, but I will leave a link to it as well. I'm not sure what the situation was 12 years ago when Candus's sister Rose disappeared, but I do wonder if there could have been some sort of trigger that led to depression and the need to feel loved. And dogs are very giving creatures. Could there be some sort of conflict where there is a desire to care for the dogs just like their children, but due to their life situation and potentially mental illness along with substance abuse, it just is not possible to fully care for animals that they have and for them to receive the proper veterinary care. And if there is some sort of neglect going on with the dogs, is this also a red flag associated with the various calls to Child Protective Services? And should someone have intervened to help care for the dogs and the children? If there had been some sort of intervention, would we be talking about a 5-year-old child who lives on Ben Hill Road that has gone missing? I came across information that all Tennessee counties have programs for spaying and neutering animals. There are programs in place for families like this one. Does the family simply believe it's okay to continue to mate and have puppies without any human interference? Again, I go back to, are the dogs filling some sort of void for this family, and perhaps Candus in particular? In 2018, the Rogersville Board of Mayor sought to place new restrictions on domesticated animal owners. According to an article in the Rogersville Review written by Bill Jones, rabies vaccination required. The new code section also requires that prior to June 1st each year, every owner of a dog or cat not confined to an enclosed area or a leash or muzzled shall cause the dog or cat to be inoculated against rabies by a duly licensed veterinarian. Evidence of this inoculation shall consist of a certificate signed by the veterinarian, a copy of which shall be kept by the veterinarian and a copy of which shall be given to the owner. The new code section also requires serially numbered inoculation tags issued by veterinarians be displayed on collars or harnesses worn by pets. Seizure of domesticated animals. In addition, the new code section notes that on and after June 2nd of each year, any dog or cat found by the animal control officers to not be wearing the evidence of inoculation tag, or for which no certificate of inoculation can be produced, and any domesticated animal found to be in violation of this chapter shall forthwith be impounded at an animal shelter, and the owner shall be subject to $10 civil penalty. According to Candus's Facebook, the family technically lives in Rogersville. This means Candus and Dawn are responsible for having their dogs vaccinated. An article published on July 12th of 2020 in Times News states that some animal hospitals in the Hawkins County area offered low-cost rabies shots, which would be $200 for all of the Wells' dogs. Also, Hawkins County Humane Society offers programs to help families spay and neuter their animals. Given we have seen videos of Summer and her family at the Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church, I would think the church would also have programs to help families in need. We do not know if Candus and Dawn ever had their dogs vaccinated. It is alleged they have never had them spayed or neutered, which makes me wonder if the church ever offered to help in any way, or if there is any other organization that specializes in needy families that offer to step in. I find it very difficult to believe the 20 dogs are receiving routine veterinary care, and I'm not sure what type of conditions they live in or if they wander off the property. Is it common to have this many dogs in Hawkins County and for no one to step in? What do you think? To me, there are a number of red flags when it comes to the disappearance of Summer Wells. One, the home is very isolated in a rural area. Two, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, less than 1% of missing children relates to non-family abductions. We do not know if anyone visits the Wells home on a regular basis, such as people that go to the same church or from the community at large. Three, according to the FBI, fewer than 350 people under the age of 21 have been abducted by strangers in the United States per year since 2010. Four, substance abuse is more common for those with low income. Five, Tennessee's ranking for opioid addiction and the alleged substance abuse by Candus. In all her selfies, she is not smiling, and in the interview that she did with Dawn, she also was not smiling. It looked to me like maybe she's missing teeth, and this is pure speculation about that, but it just kind of makes me wonder, given everything that we know and what we don't know. Six, the alleged numerous calls to Child Protective Services. Seven, possible neglect of animals on the property, which might also signify other types of neglect. We don't know if the dogs and cats were vaccinated, treated for fleas and worms, and seen regularly by a veterinarian. It's alleged that their animals are never spayed or neutered, which would compound the expense for caring of animals. However, we also know there's programs out there that they could reach out to for help. 8, potential mental illness, illustrated by the need to keep so many animals in addition to poverty. 9, there are 2 hours for June 15th that are unaccounted for. We don't have the full timeline. We know that when Candus dropped H off, Allie wanted to say hi to Summer, who was sleeping, and typically woke up to the sound of Allie's voice, but Candus did not want her to hug Summer. 10. We know Candus's sister Rosemary has been missing since 2009. It seems odd that 2 people from the same family vanish without a trace. I'm not saying that the 2 cases are related. I just find it very odd. What are some other red flags that come to your mind regarding this case? We are now at the 1-month mark of when Summer went missing, and there is still not a sign of her. Thousands of man-hours have been spent searching for her. Allegedly, her scent was found on the property but lost at the end of the driveway, which to me makes sense since we were told Summer knew not to go out of her yard. For Summer to have been abducted by a family member, acquaintance, or stranger, someone would have to know she was at home, be able to get close to the house, know she was in the basement, to open the door and take her. Or if Summer opened the door, because we don't know if the door was locked or if it was unlocked, there's different things, we don't know if Summer knows how to unlock it, but if she was able to do so, to get her attention, someone would have to be there to do that and be able to get her out somehow, or see that she was out, or know that she was going to go out. If she was grabbed, unless she was knocked out somehow, I would think that she would have screamed and that someone would have hurt her. I'm not saying it's not possible for her to have been abducted. It just really seems highly unlikely. It appears more probable that something else happened, an accident of some sort. What do you think happened to Summer? Where do you think she is? Do you think someone will find her? If so, will she be alive? I really do hope that no one she knows is involved in her disappearance. I want to believe she is somewhere safe and sound. That scenario, though, seems very unlikely at this point. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. And remember, you're beautiful and I love you.